Family is important to us all, and here we have an adventure comedy film called Thelma, in which I think a lot of people can really relate to this film. But is the film any good, and should you be checking it out? Well, stick around, and let's talk about it. When 93-year-old Thelma Post gets duped by a phone scammer pretending to be her grandson, she sets out on a treacherous quest across the city to reclaim what was taken from her. The film stars June Squibb, Fred Hechinger, Richard Roundtree, Parker Posey, Clark Gregg, and Malcolm McDowell, and was directed by Josh Margolin, and this is his directorial debut. Thelma. Now, I did see a trailer before going into this film. It looked cute, looked like it was going to have some heart, and it looked like it was going to be funny as well. Now, Thelma, she lives alone. She's 93 years old. Her grandson is always visiting her, and he has a lack of skills, and he kind of pesters her a little bit. She wants to be a little bit more on her own, and one day Thelma gets a phone call from a scammer saying that it is her grandson and that he needs $10,000 to be bailed out of jail. And of course, she believes this said person on the phone, and she mails $10,000 into a mailbox to deliver to them, and she is scammed right away after learning that her grandson is safe and that he was just asleep somewhere else. Now, after she actually gets scammed, she goes down to the police station, tries to get help. They're not much of a help, and she goes out on a journey to try to track down this person who stole from her. Thelma takes matters into her own hands, and she starts calling up all her old friends, and she learns that a lot of them have moved away or they have passed on, and they throw in that little bit of flavor of dark humor, which I really do enjoy that is actually involved in this film. She eventually gets a hold of this guy named Ben who lives in an assistant nursing facility. She hasn't talked to him in a very long time and has kind of avoided him after her husband passed away. And it's really them rekindling this relationship and their friendship and going on this adventure out of the nursing home to try to track down this person that has stolen from her. The comedy here, it definitely landed for me. There were definitely a lot of jokes that I really found myself really chuckling in the theater. Like, for instance, when they're actually at the police station and Thelma, she starts talking obviously about the fact that she's been stolen from, and the police bring up Facebook, and she says, how could Zuckerberg actually let this happen? And other jokes in here too that maybe necessarily aren't jokes but are funny. Like, for instance, a lot of times she can't really hear and she's like, what? Or pardon me? And other times too when she's on the computer and she really doesn't know how to actually delete a pop-up, or she also thinks later on in the film that a computer can actually be Siri. Certain little jokes like that that really had me chuckling, which really goes into the fact of age and just keeping up with technology in general, because a lot of times technology is always changing, and a lot of times the older seniors, they're not keeping up with it, so it's really tough for them to really get involved with certain things that are really going on. It does tackle a lot of different subjects. It tackles subjects like scams targeting seniors, aging, family, autonomy, motor skills. It really does tackle a lot of things that I could say are relatable in a way. The chemistry between Thelma and Ben, I think, is completely undeniable here. I think they do such a good job just developing that chemistry. This was Richard Roundtree's last role. Rest in peace to him. And I thought he did a great job just really capturing that friendship and just making up for lost time in which their relationship necessarily isn't kindled at that point, because we can all relate to this, whether we're old or younger. Sometimes we'll have a fallout within our friendship and we necessarily don't know why, and someone that is going through maybe a tragic event maybe just kind of push you to the side, and that's really what this film really shows, her just rekindling this relationship, after a loss. As far as negatives, the only ones I can really say is it's not something where it's full-on action or anything like that. The comedy is kind of a hit or miss, because on one end there is some chuckling moments, but there are times where the comedy doesn't necessarily land. It's not something where a lot of times there is a ton really going on all the time, but I think overall it does have that comedy aspect that you're looking for in a film like this. It has a little bit of a drama aspect to it, and overall for the action portion, it's very much pushed to the side. So if you're looking for that, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. it. Obviously, there are certain things in this film that I obviously can't relate to. Obviously, my motor skills, they're not declining. I'm not in a nursing home. I'm not going to fall and break my hip, because I have brittle bones at this time. So certain little things like that and some of the dangers that seniors actually face on a daily basis, yeah, I can't really relate to that. So as far as the score for this film, I would give it a 3 out of 5. I liked it. I don't think it's a movie that I would watch over and over again. If a friend came over and was like, hey, I haven't seen Thelma, you want to check it out? I would be like, yeah, sure, let's check it out. Why not? But I don't think it's a movie that I would own on Blu-ray or watch time and time again. So that's why I would say I would give it a 3 out of 5. It is fun enough. It has comedy. It has the heart. But overall, I don't think it's a movie that I loved to the point of just, I have to have it in my physical collection. So those are my thoughts on Thelma. What did you guys think about Thelma? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you just think it was kind of meh? And if you haven't checked it out yet, are you going to check it out on a theater or are you going to check it out on streaming or VOD? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I will see you guys next time.